Hey,
Hey,
hey.
what's up, bestie? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's a good, nice fall day. Feeling good, feeling great, looking good, looking
Yes,
great.
it
How are
is a nice
you?
fall day. I'm doing good. It is a nice fall day. I tried to switch up the scenery a little bit, be a little cozy on my
I see
couch,
you. You do look cozy. I like it. I love these neutral earth tones.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing good. What's up, sippers? Thank y'all for coming back to Tea and Champagne podcast. We just doing bigger and better things.
Yes. I'm glad y'all are here. I'm glad y'all are back. Thank you for supporting. And don't forget to spread the word, shout us out, tag us, comment us. We love all the feedback. We love all the support. So, welcome back.
Yes. And also, we just wanted to do some announcements. So let's go ahead and get to the business because we are going to talk this episode. Let's just say that. You know what I mean? So, listeners, thank y'all so much for listening to us again. If you are interested in being a guest on our podcast, please contact us at teaandchampagnepod@gmail.com. And also, if by the time this drops, you will be seeing us on YouTube. So, hello, YouTube world out there.
Hi, YouTube.
Yeah, so this will be our second episode on YouTube. So, what's up, y'all?
Hey, y'all.
YouTube is the move. What's up? We here. So now you can get familiar. You hear us all the time. Now you can see us. So
Hmm.
I'm really excited about that. I know Dee is.
I
So
know, I am because people ask us if we're on YouTube all the time. So
yeah,
I'm excited to be able to say yes, because everyone has access to YouTube. Not everyone has the
yeah,
apps though, for some reason. So, but YouTube is on
yeah,
everybody's radar. So I'm excited.
yeah. And it's free for now.
Hmm.
And also, we still have that tea that we've been telling y'all about that we still have not released the information to. But we will tell you that very, very, very soon. We are just still working on things, but we can't wait to share some good news with y'all.
Yeah, just stay tuned.
Just stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about our Black Business of the Week. We actually do not have a Black Business of the Week, but we have an event, a local event in relation to this fall season and Halloween season, and so here's an activity for you and your family. The Bessie Smith Culture Center is going down on October the 28th from 11 to 4 p.m. at the Bessie Smith Culture Center. You can expect music, food truck, candy, bouncy houses, face painting. So go ahead and bring your kids out. The kids are encouraged to dress up in their favorite costumes. Trick or treat activities will be there too. So go ahead, spread the world. This is at the Bessie Smith Culture Center on October 28th from 11 to 4 p.m. So
Yes, go support that initiative because it's for the kids, and I know
yes,
they are going to make it a great time. If y'all are looking for a way to bring in the new season, and if you celebrate Halloween, or if you just want to go to a festival vibe, check it out. Bessie Smith
yes.
Cultural Center on MLK.
Indeed, I just kind of want to piggyback off this theme. Like when you was a kid, was there any costumes or any character that you wanted to dress up as, or what is your biggest memory of Halloween?
Oh, I got so many because we were ones that went trick-or-treating every Halloween, and my mom would
Yeah.
hook up my costumes. I remember she I wanted to be a bride for Halloween one time,
Mm.
and she sewed me this pink wedding dress. She made the veil. She had this satin like body and lacy bottom and sleeves. I had that for a long time. I think we still have that somewhere. And I was a pink bride. My mama sewed that. One time I wanted to be Barbie and
Mhm.
she bought that costume for me. And back then they wasn't making any face masks for black people. And she
Mm.
painted my Barbie doll mask brown. I remember that.
Oh, that's so
And
sweet.
those like are the two that stand out like as far as back in my little childhood days. As I got older,
Yeah.
my costumes got a little bit less creative. I think I was a rabbit one time in middle school. I had on some Grant Hill Fila's and just a white top and some white leggings and some bunny ears. And I thought I was an Eminem one Halloween. She made that costume too, and
Mm.
I was an orange Eminem. So yeah, I'm excited for the new wave of kids and costumes. I know there's gonna be a lot of Little Mermaids this year, so I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I remember one year when Black Panther had just came out. There was so many Black Panthers, and I remember
Hmm.
going to my nephew's school like it was a costume party. There was some white little boys dressed up as Black Panther. I thought it was so
I'm here for
sweet.
it.
It
I'm
was
here
it,
for
it
it.
was different. That was so
Yeah,
adorable. But
yeah.
um, I didn't. My mama, we didn't celebrate Halloween too much. We did the Hallelujah Fest.
Okay.
So.
Which is a
So
thing, yeah.
yeah, we did the Hallelujah Fest. So I remember being an angel one year.
Oh,
Well, I guess she
yeah.
like appropriated the theme. And then I remember wanting to like be Princess Jasmine one year, but my mom didn't give me a costume for that. So she, I, my mom would let me play it, dress up in her old clothes. So she had like a blue nightgown that she gave me. You know, the pattern is like the texture of the material was silky.
Silky, yeah.
So I just started, I put that on and I just started folding it every type of way on type of me and everything. And I said, I'm about to be Princess Jasmine. We about to go trick or treating in our neighborhood. And we didn't go. We did not go trick or treating
Oh
or
my
something, or
goodness.
maybe I can't remember if we did go. I remember my sister like kind of being like, okay, like this is not Princess Jasmine. I was like, I think I was kind of like, can you do my hair in a ponytail? And she was not trying to do that. So that was like my little hood costume that I came up with that I decided to design myself,
Yeah.
and it didn't go well. But I really didn't start celebrating Halloween until like I want to say college, like
Mm-hmm.
when I became an adult because I could pay for stuff. So
Yeah.
I remember one year I was living in Nashville, so there was like a Halloween local bash, and I was a witch.
Mm-hmm.
I had bought this cute little party dress for whatever reason from Forever 21 that I never got to wear. So I used that as like my base of my dress, and then I just bought the accessories. So I had like a hat and some crazy purple patterned stockings. I don't even know how I afforded all of this because I was really broke in college. And I had some boots, like some black pointy boots. I
Mm-hmm.
don't even know where that stuff is. Like I don't know if someone took my things or I just lost it. But those I didn't keep up with my stuff. But I had those boots on. I had the gloves and stuff, and that's when I learned how to one curl. So I wore that and everything. And then I think one year at work I was a ballerina. My friend at
Okay.
the time made me a tutu, and
Oh,
I had like a bodysuit or something that I just, and it wasn't work appropriate. It wasn't too much.
that's what I was about
So
to say. I mean, ballerina costumes can get sexy. That's.
yeah, yeah, it was work appropriate.
Yeah.
So the booty was
Okay.
covered up. And
Okay.
then what else? That's it. Like I haven't really I've always wanted to like go all out like the celebrities when they do
Mm-hmm. Me too.
their
Me
Halloween,
too.
because that's over the last couple of years that's been a great theme. I look forward to Halloween to see the celebrities
Me
costumes.
too.
So
I love seeing how realistic their costumes look. I remember one year I was Mystique, which is a character from X-Men. She's the blue
yeah,
character, and she
yeah. You
changes
and
blue.
Jazz, You and Jazz do
We
the
were
face
dressed
painting.
up. Yeah, we
Yeah,
we dressed up that year in face paint, and I was Mystique, and she was Jigsaw from Saw. And that
yeah,
was really fun. And now the kids are who get my investment in Halloween. They do the costumes, and they have me spending the money to buy them the stuff with. I think like one year my me and my oldest, she was a character from Blockbuster. Not Blockbuster, Ghostbusters.
oh, okay.
She was a character from Ghostbusters. I think she was the slime. Whatever character it was, it came with a pump. So, have you seen the
Uh-huh.
costumes that has this air pump built into it so the
Yeah.
costume can inflate?
Oh,
She
she
was
was the ghost.
she was inflated, and she was this big old costume, and she was puffed out with the air pumping all night. And that and I think one year they were like a Harry Potter character. I think um so yeah, this
Uh-oh.
year I'm sorry. I'm back. This year I
Okay.
don't know what they're gonna do, but it's been fun so far as like seeing all the kids dress up as the new movies this one came out.
Yeah.
So and I
Okay.
also want to shout out, I know we shouted out our listeners in the top of the episode, but I want to just give a special shout out to our male listeners because I've had a couple of our male listeners reach out recently and just show some support and tag our
Cool.
posts. And they asked for a shout out. I don't have everybody's name right now, but in general, shout out to our male listeners because y'all are still listening. So y'all keep
Yeah.
on listening.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank y'all for listening, bruh. Or, I'm sorry. Let me not friend zone y'all. Thank you for listening, babe.
Okay, so you want to get into our icebreaker.
Yes. So, listeners, tippers, this is a part two of our movie episode. So this time we're gonna go like a little bit in depth with this conversation. I know we kind of talked about things that we like to do around movies, but this time we're talking about movies or our favorite topic. D, what is your top favorite breakup movies?
Okay, this is hard because I just cannot narrow it down to one. I have several that got me through transitioning from a relationship, and if I had to put one at the top, I'm gonna say there's this movie called How to Be Single. It's a movie
Mm,
with Dakota Johnson and Rebel Wilson. It's a really
mm-hmm,
good movie. It even has, we were just talking about Damon Wayans Jr. yesterday.
mm-hmm,
He's in that movie. And it's a
mm-hmm,
romantic comedy, it's a rom-com, but it's just a great movie because she steps into her independence after realizing the life that she planned for herself was not going to happen, and she
mm-hmm,
had to adjust to being alone. And the movie really um helped me be comfortable with that new chapter of my life because it showed her um, learning how to be comfortable with herself. By the end of the movie, it just was a feel good. It was a lot of feel good moments, and I related to a lot of it. Uh, but that's at the top. I'm gonna just run through all of the ones that I thought of real quick. If you
mm-hmm.
guys need a selection, if you're going through a relationship you're leaving, or you're thinking about leaving, or if you just need some options, Love and Basketball is one for me. That's another one because Sanaa Lathan and our boy
Damn, this
Omar
is my
Epps.
man too. Yes,
Omar
I could not.
Epps.
Why couldn't I think of Bay? My bad. Omar Epps.
Sanaa Lathan and Omar Epps. That's actually kind of at my top two. That one kind of ties with How to Be Single. Like, I know in the end they do get together with each other, but there was a period where Sanai's character was alone. Like, she had to accept the fact that her and her boo wasn't together anymore, and she
Mm,
journeyed through her career, she journeyed through school, she learned how to live overseas and just be content with herself. And eventually life just circles back to, a place that you didn't think you was going to go back to. And I liked it that that movie just kind of showed us that you got to be patient. Sometimes it could be years before you get to where you want to go as far as a relationship goes. And I like that, they got it right later on in life, so it still gives me hope. Crazy Stupid Love, which is a movie with Steve Carell and no, not Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, my other
Mm.
white boy team. That movie is another romantic comedy. It also has Emma Stone in it, which she's dope,
Mm.
and that
That's my
movie's really
boo.
good. It
That's my
shows.
girl.
It shows. Yeah, she's awesome. She plays Steve Carell's daughter, and it shows him and his wife divorcing after being married for like decades, and him navigating being single in like his 40s and 50s, probably like an older person being single. It shows that, and Ryan Gosling comes into the movie and kind of coaches him on how to be sexy, and it's so good.
Hmm.
Um, Eat, Pray, Love, which has Julia Roberts in it. She goes and travels Bali and all this stuff. It's rich people shit, but I still vibe to it.
Support it. Yeah.
Waiting to Exhale is another one. Legally Blonde helped me get
Okay,
through.
first of all, we were supposed to say three movies,
Sorry, Begin Again
and
and
you
Chef.
took one of
Okay.
mine.
Okay. And Legally Blonde, Begin Again, and Chef. Those are my last three. Y'all look into those. Those are great movies that, show people
Okay,
thriving.
because you definitely took my Waiting to Exhale. That is my top
Well,
movie.
I won't go into details on it. You go into,
Okay.
your spiel.
Waiting to Exhale, like that's just some real good movies. Like, I just love it because I just feel like I think I resonate with Whitney Houston's character the most.
Uh-huh.
Just, being a fine, single, professional woman, that's a really good friend, and
Mm-hmm.
recognizing like the men selection is just kind of horrible, you know? And you have this situation where this guy that you feel like is exactly what you want, he makes
Yeah.
love to you the way you want him to, and like he's financially stable, he's great, but he's married, you know?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
married, and um she had to kind of like come into, you know, she had to accept terms that the fact like he's got everything I want, but this isn't how it's supposed to be. Like I don't know how long their situation was, but she waited for a long time. And it just seemed like she waited for a long time. I'm not sure because she left another city. She moved to a whole nother city and he kind of followed her or something. But he's married, and it was just kind of always weird about her mom telling like that was so supportive
Yeah.
to date him. That
Mm-hmm.
always kind of confused me,
It
and I
did.
don't know if it was
Yeah, it did to
because
me too.
the mom was kind of alone herself, and she just probably was just kind of like, it's better to have a piece of a man than no man. But I like
Mm-hmm.
how Savannah, Whitney Houston's character, kind of just moved on past that and was just kind
Yeah.
of like, no, I'm choosing me. But even
Yeah.
like her friend, I mean, we know Angela Bassett played down in that movie, like we know she acted
Yeah.
her ass off. But her other friend, the one that was very beautiful, I can't remember her name, but she was like dating around too, and she loved
I think her name was Robin,
Liam.
wasn't it? And wasn't her name
Was it
Robin in the
Robin?
movie? I'm trying to
I can't
think. This
remember.
dude in the
She's
leather
my
vest at the end, wasn't he
yes.
calling her name Robin?
It probably was Robin, but that nigga threw that orange at her. She threw it right back at his ass, and he got hit. Um, I like her. She's my second favorite character in the movie because
Mm-hmm.
she was the same way. She ended up getting pregnant by him though, but
Yeah.
it was just real situations and having to uh walk in, I don't want to say rejection, but kind of just having to walk in situations where, okay, what you want may not be right for you, and you have to accept that and you have to move on. So it's probably a movie I'm about to watch. But
There you go.
it's one of my favorite movies. I just love it. And then Loretta Devine's character, of course, Angela Bassett's character,
Gloria,
like they just that
Bernadine.
whole ensemble was just amazing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
definitely that movie.
Shout out.
My next one is Boomerang because I like Halle Berry's character and I like
Mhm.
how, first of all, Halle Berry was that girl. All the boys wanted her. All the boys
Mhm.
wanted her in that movie to the part where they had really bad situations. Like the friendship broke up because they all wanted her. And I don't know why Eddie Murphy was the one that begged her. I still
Love
think
should have
like
brought you home last night.
yes, I love how she stood up for herself
Yes,
because
yes.
she was out here with Robin Gibbons getting what he
Mhm.
wanted from her, but she was just a good
Mhm.
girl. But I don't understand why I guess she just liked him because I was like, why didn't
He
she
was
choose
swaggy
David
and
Allen?
charming. Murphy's character was so charming. He always make himself look like the most charming person in the world.
He wasn't charming, D. He was a F boy.
He was, and that's what F boys do. They make themselves look like they have all the charm and all the game. You
Okay.
saw how he wore his suits and how he was like, he was
Yeah,
given off very much like, I'm that, I'm that nigga and I'm too good for, like, he had an arrogance to himself.
he was attractive, but I still think that she should have chose David Allen Greer's character
I
because he
don't
was
say
the
that I
good
agree
guy.
with her choice, but
Okay.
I'm just saying I see why girls go after the type
Well,
of dudes
yeah,
like that. Like
yeah.
you know, guilty
I
as charged.
um, yeah, he was. We ain't gonna lie. He is a good looking guy, but I'm just saying, like, as far as like where I am now, my mindset, he was not the right
Not the
character. He was not
choice.
the right guy for
No,
her. Like, I just never
no.
understood that. But I do like how she stood up for herself. And
Yeah.
then my next one is John Tucker Must Die.
Oh,
I
with
love that
Ashanti.
movie with Ashanti. Yes, I watched that movie a lot because I love how they play against him.
Mhm.
Um, and I read what I liked about that movie is like when the new girl really wasn't paying him no attention, Kate, they kind of build her to be like this bad bitch to take over and break this guy's heart. But
Mhm.
I just really like that we actually saw like the feelings of John Tucker. Like he was just
Yeah.
kind of like really feeling her in that movie. And Kate was still just so much of a good person that she didn't want to hurt his feelings. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I don't know. I like that movie. I like the revenge. I just like the whole setup of that movie. But that's like John Tucker Must Die is kind of like I like Mean Girls, I like Easy
Mhm.
A, and then I like John
Mhm.
Tucker Must
Oh, I
Die. Like
love
those are
Easy
my
A.
trilogies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Easy
definitely
A is
love Easy
good.
A.
That has Emma
Emma
Stone as
Stone,
well.
yes.
Shout out to Emma Stone. Okay, those are
Okay.
some good ones. We could literally probably dedicate an episode to movies to watch after a breakup because a I had a list that really were good ones. Because I said Legally Blonde because it showed her getting her she became a lawyer after she broke up with her dude and really
Mhm.
flexed on his ass because she fucked around and went to Harvard with his ass, aced
Mhm.
that shit while he was midway, like being a mid student, didn't graduate with honors, and she ended up
Mhm.
getting the same, degree, but graduated with honors, stealing his opportunities. I really like that movie. It
Mhm.
really, I'll probably make that one another movie as we get into the episode.
Yeah.
And Begin
Okay.
Again. I'm sorry, these are my last two, but I just want to touch on them because I
Oh my.
think people sleep on this one. It's a it's an underrated movie with Keira Knightley, but it's about music. And we tap into music a lot on this show, which we didn't talk about our music segment. We skipped it.
It's
But
okay.
Yeah, but if y'all are into music and love stories, this one is a good one because it also follows someone's journey after a breakup, and CeeLo is in it. He has a cameo.
What's the name of that movie?
Begin Again, and it has
Oh, okay.
Keira Knightley in it, and the guy that plays the Hulk. And Chef,
Mm,
which has John Favreau and Sofia Vergara, she plays his wife. They get a divorce, and it shows him starting a food truck after their divorce, and he's traveling with his son and just navigating being single as a dad in his 40s. But I love food, and this movie's great if you're someone who loves to eat food and you're trying to navigate being single. So, okay, but that's it. We can move on.
okay. Well, so we are talking about movies. We're going to continue the
Hmm.
conversation. So I'm gonna just go ahead and, ask the question.
Okay.
What movie do you feel like? And I guess it's piggybacking off of the breakup movies. Like, what movie did you watch that gave you confidence?
Yes. Well, Legally Blonde was one. Y'all know that. I just said that. Hidden Figures is another one for me. That one
Yeah.
was big as far as educating me on something that I just wasn't even taught in school. Like I wasn't even aware
Mhm.
of these characters until I saw the movie, unfortunately. But once I saw the movie and saw how Taraji P. Henson's character, Catherine, she stood up for herself when people were
Mhm.
really being racist to her. As smart as
Mhm.
she was, I just loved that her
Very
brain.
empowering. Yeah.
Yes, and it was her brain that spoke for itself. It was her brain that was like, you know what? I'm not gonna ask for your respect just because it's the right thing to do, but I'm gonna show
Mhm.
you guys why I'm the shit right now and why I'm
Yeah.
the one that's about to be out here doing these formulas on y'all asses and y'all can't figure it out. Watch this.
Mhm.
And all they had to do was watch, and all they had to do, they had no choice but to give her props. So
Mhm.
I really loved how she represented for herself and her intellect got her there. It wasn't just the fact that she's a woman and she's black and it's just the fair thing to do, but she made me get into like, okay, this is worth me stepping up my game as far as what value I bring to the table. It's one thing
Mhm.
to ask for respect just because equality is, it's a given, but it's another thing to ask for respect because you are an asset to your circumstance. Like, okay, it's not enough that we're going to be right. I'll show you that it's worth me keeping here.
Mhm.
So that gave me a lot of confidence watching that movie. I watch that all the time. Last Holiday is a movie with Queen
Mhm.
Latifah, and she
Mhm.
thought she was gonna die, so she was just living her life
Yeah,
like
that was a good
tomorrow
movie.
wasn't promised. And LL Cool J
Mhm.
is in that movie, and it's another
That's
movie where if
so
you like
catchy.
food, it's a good one because she was a food
Yeah.
enthusiast, and she was having the time of her life. So
Yeah. She was a
those
chef,
are.
wasn't she?
She worked at a store. She worked at
Okay.
like the equivalent of like Dick's Sporting Goods or Sears or something. But she
Yeah.
would love cooking. I think she just loved to cook. And she had her
Yeah.
favorite chef. And so she went to his restaurant overseas. And it just made me think, like, okay, she blew all her money because she thought she was about to die, but the shit worked out
Mhm.
in the end. Like, she
Mhm.
pivoted her career once she figured out, okay, I'm not going to die. Now I'm broke, but she still ended up
Yeah.
reinventing herself. So
Yeah.
that made me feel good to know that, you know what, people
Yeah.
can pivot and start over. If you lose everything, it's
I
okay.
I just want to say, like, that movie always comes into mind when I'm just thinking about something and I'm like, I really want to do this, or I really want to buy this. And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
like, should I or should I not? I always think
Yeah.
about that movie, like, do it. You only have one
Yeah.
life. What if
Yeah.
somebody, I mean, if it doesn't work out, oh well, but don't sit and regret and be like, I wish I would have did it. I wish I would have
I
done that.
agree.
So
I
I think about
agree.
that a lot. That is a
That's a
good movie choice.
that's a great, yeah, that's a great mindset to have about it. And my
Hmm.
last one for this is Brittany one runs a marathon. It's an Amazon Prime movie, so this one's probably another
Okay.
one that's underrated, but I recommend people to watch it. because it's about this girl or woman rather who's really going through a hard time in her life. No one expects her to get her shit together, but she decides to train for a marathon, and people are like, you know how much work that is, right? And you are kind of a fuck up, you know. You know how much your body's going to go through, but she did
Mhm.
that shit. And that just made me feel a sense of confidence that if somebody like that, whose life was just going off the rails, it showed everything she went through to prepare for this marathon and how much discipline she instilled in herself. It was a
Mhm.
good one to watch. So I'll leave it there. How about you?
There's a gnat flying in here. Um,
Oh, I just saw a gnat. That's crazy.
in your apartment, or you saw it
Hmm.
in here?
No, there was
I
a
don't
there was a
know.
little there's a little gnat on
I
my
mean, your
laptop.
house. Um, well, okay. I wrote two movies down that I think that are still that gave me confidence, but I'm still gonna talk about um Rocky and Creed. I'm gonna put them
Yes.
together. Those
Okay.
are probably
Yeah.
my top two.
Mhm.
First of all, like Michael B. Jordan is so fine in that
He
movie. He is
is.
so great in that
That he is.
movie. In Creed, I just love the relationship between him and Rocky and the mentorship and the coaching and the disagreements. Like I just really love that about that movie,
Yeah.
because that's how life is for real. Like
Mhm.
um, and Donnie's character was just so like passionate. Like, please take a chance on me. Like, please. And he always I just love their whole dynamic duo. And even with watching Rocky, going back to the original Rocky, like how Sylvester Stallone's character, okay, the net is over here because he wants my wine. But going through the original Rocky, I just
Mhm.
love the hunger of that person. Like,
Yeah.
and even I've watched all five Rocky movies. Like, you see how his character develops, but he never loses like his ambition, his hunger. And I think that's really important because when you go through life, you have some high and low moments, and when you at the top, it feels good, but things can shortly calm down and you be back at the ground. Like I think it's the third one or the fourth one where Rocky had to go back to the hood and live there because he spent too much money, so he had to like start back from the bottom. So I just really like that, like, because life throws you challenges, and with him going back to the hood, everybody had something to say, but he was working. He
Yeah.
wasn't boxing, but he was working in the gym, sweeping up stuff, starting all over again. And
Yeah.
that's just shows this determined, like, regardless of I may be a celebrity, but life happens, but I'm still gonna provide for my family or provide for me. It was really good. So
Right.
yeah, very motivational. Now these two movies, I'm gonna say American Gangster gave me confidence because
Yeah, I like that. I love that movie
you like
too.
that? Okay. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like how Denzel Washington kind of bosses up.
Yeah, Denzel was Boss Bay in that movie. I ain't even gonna lie.
Like,
I
I
just love his,
mean,
yeah, he was very
go
street
ahead.
smart. No, I was gonna say, I just love
Yeah.
his swag. Very street
Yes.
smart.
Yes.
Um, the thing that
Just
fucked him up in that movie, I don't even blame him all the way. I blame him.
yeah.
But if he had just would have stayed true to himself, I think he would have went the long way. But I like him in that movie.
I love American Gangster. I really like his vision wasn't, I mean, of course he wanted to be the best drug dealer, but his vision was to still like make sure his family was good. His mom, he bought
Mm-hmm.
her this house. He bought this big
Mm-hmm.
house for the family to come by. He wanted his family to make money too. And
Mm-hmm.
he was just very strategic with the business, and he had a vision with it,
Yeah.
and unfortunately his wife is the reason he got fucked over. She bought him
That's
that coat.
That flashy ass
And that
chinchilla.
I
Yeah.
don't know why he wore that. Like
Me
that, why did he
either.
wear
Like,
that?
man,
I just do not know why he wore that because he would have been good. That's the reason that they
I
drew
think
so much
so.
attention.
Yeah, I think so.
It just drew so much attention. So instills a lot of confidence in me because um you don't want to be the loudest person in the room. You
Exactly.
know, I'm not
Exactly.
saying that I don't want to be no drug dealer, no, but I do want to be somebody that's a boss that kind of move pieces like chess pieces throughout, my career, and not have to be the flashy person. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
I love being low key. I like being a mystery. I like people like learning who I am and not just being all over social media now. If you notice, I took a break and I like it. I like,
Yeah.
just having a little mystery, just like you. And you inspired me to do by the way. I like that you're not all over the place on social media. But
No. I try not to
you just
be.
inspect your bread and just may run a business and put other people on. It ain't always got to be about you. I just
Right.
kind of groove into that with that movie with Denzel, and he was just real, boss mentality, like masculine. Like I really like masculine men, and that's probably why I don't like Eddie Murphy's character in Boomerang because he wasn't masculine to
Boomerang.
me. He was
No, he
like
was a pretty
real
boy.
childish.
Yeah.
But I like masculine men that kind of just like the guy we saw at the podcast yesterday. Like he just seems so masculine. Like he's just with
Are you talking
it.
about the last
Like
panelist? Are we talking about the last
yes,
panelist? Shout him out,
what's his?
girl. Math Hoffa. We gonna shout out Math
Thank you, Math
Hoffa
Hoffa.
because
He has
yes, he had a
a podcast.
very
What's the name of his
dominating presence.
podcast? What's the name of his podcast?
His podcast is like
My
now,
expertise.
yeah,
I'm
but we
sorry.
gonna get it right because let's not do him like that.
But I just
Okay.
like that boss, like get it right. Like he from up north. I couldn't tell if he was from Philly or New York or Jersey. Maybe not Jersey, but I couldn't tell if he was from Philly or New York. But he from up north, so he like got this street grime personality. But it's
Yeah.
still like things that he was saying that I find like beneficial to me, and just like
Yeah.
when he was talking about guests being on the on his show, like don't be on no goofy shit while you
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah.
Like be yourself and don't make your guests feel like it's a challenge when you have interviews with them. Like be respectful. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like show
My
respect.
expert
He
opinion. That's his
my
show.
expert opinion. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say this and then I'm gonna move on to the next movie. He was saying like try to be respectful when he was a battle rapper too. He was like
Yeah.
show respect. And to me, I just feel like real men show respect. You can agree to disagree, but you still got to be respectful. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you don't have to be respectful, but you can choose to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah,
just
because
think
he
that
made
that's
that.
kind of dope. He
Yeah,
made
he
that
made that point. He
very clear.
made that clear, and he was honest about I'm a reflection of the right decisions and the wrong
The wrong
decisions.
decisions,
He was
yeah.
honest about
And
that. So,
he was saying like Drake is a savage. And the stuff
hmm
he was talking about Drake doing, like trying to get somebody, girl, that was disrespectful.
yeah.
But he chose to respect Drake anyway. So I'm just move
Shout
on.
out to Math Hoffa. Shout out
But
to him
yeah,
coming to our city.
yes. And shout out to Denzel Washington because I just love how he is in that movie. Okay,
Yeah.
and then my last confident movie, this goes with The Best Man. I like Nia Long's character. That's the first time I
hmm
probably just saw like a producer, a black woman
hmm
in that field, other than Waiting to Exhale. But those are my favorite two characters in general. But
Right.
and Being Mary Jane, that show. But
Oh,
anyways, we
yes.
talking about
We
movies. We
talking about
talking about
movies,
movies.
but we'll have to go back and revisit shows because there's a lot of shows I
Okay.
left off too. That's one of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
hmm
but Nia Long's character was probably like my first time seeing like a black woman in media. She was working in BT, But the first one, her and Hopper had that situation. Unfortunately, I thought she was wrong to do that, but I still like the fact that she knew what she wanted and she was gonna take that man, regardless if he had a woman or
Yeah.
not. I don't
Yeah.
support that. I don't support
Yeah.
that, but I like her confidence to how she moved. But
Mhm.
fast forwarding to the second movie, The Best Man Holiday, she was up. Like she was an executive, a CEO of a network or something. So I
Yeah.
really like how she kind of played Little Jordan, and then she moved up the ladder and she got Emmys and awards and stuff like
Calling the
that. So
shots, boss
calling
bitch.
the shots,
Yeah,
yeah. And
I
then
love her
even
character.
even even with the series,
Even yeah, even higher up.
she
And then it showed
even
her
higher
dealing
up.
with the stress of it all.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
the stress that I see now. But
Yeah.
we ain't gonna talk about that. We just talking about movies and just
Yeah.
having the stress of that and choosing herself and like saying like, okay, this is too much for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
definitely her character. I'm not gonna say the movie overall. It's a lot of shit in it, in all the movies in the series, but I'm just saying like her character in particular really inspired me a lot.
Those are
So,
great. Yeah, those are all great. I support all of those.
okay. Um, so what movie makes you feel like you're at home and less alone?
So some feel good movies for me. I'm gonna just name a couple. And this movie gets mixed reviews, but I love this movie, especially since we've been talking about Will and Jada so much these days. Fuck all that. I like Hitch.
Yes,
I
I
love
really like it.
Hitch.
Yeah, I do too. I
I
do.
love that movie so much. He's so funny, and the other male lead in that movie is so funny. I cannot think of the
Is it
guy's
Kevin?
name.
They've been making
Kevin?
him memes lately. I don't know why, but I think it's Kevin
Yes.
something.
He,
Let me see. They've been making him
yes.
memes for whatever reason.
Yes, because the kids they keep airdropping pictures of him in that position that they make a meme of. And
Kevin James.
Kevin James, his name is Albert in the movie. Him and Will Smith's chemistry is so good in that movie. And
Yes,
it's a funny, feel good romantic comedy. As y'all probably can
yes.
tell, I love rom-coms, so that's a feel
Yeah,
good
me
movie
too.
for me. And there's another movie that's a rom-com. It's Complicated, which is another maybe underrated movie amongst our culture, but it has Meryl
Okay.
Streep in it, and it has
Oh,
shoot, the dude from I always call him from Beetlejuice,
Alec
but
Baldwin.
yes, Alec Baldwin. Meryl Streep and
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin, and there's
Hmm.
another lead in that movie that has the
Steve
white hair.
Martin.
Steve Martin. Yes, those
Yeah.
three big names in the film industry. And that movie
Mhm.
is another like romantic, but it's a comedy and it's hilarious and it shows Meryl Streep like 10 years after divorcing from Alec Baldwin's character, but she
Mhm.
gets back into her like, okay, I've been alone for 10 years. I'm about to
Mhm.
spread them wide
Broke a
open,
nail.
okay? It's time.
Oh, I'm about to start watching these movies, B. These are good movies. I'm about to write this
Oh,
down.
every time I don't feel like doing anything and I don't know what to watch, I turn on It's Complicated because I just love how she taps into her sexy at her tender age of whatever it is, like 50, 60. I don't
Yeah.
know how old this lady is, but whatever. She's like, you know what? We've been divorced 10 years. I'm horny, you horny, what's up? And they
Mhm.
sneaking around. And is it right? Is it wrong? Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
Who cares? She even has a scene in that movie, and I love that they incorporated therapy all throughout this movie. She goes to her therapist and she's like, "Yo, tell me what to do. Can I keep sleeping with my ex-husband or nah?" And the therapist is
Mhm.
like, "Do it. Like, does it
Mhm.
feel good? Do it." Because she's
Mhm.
single. If he want to be a fuck boy, that's on him, and it's gonna come back on him, and it does. And then in the mean backdrop, we got Steve Martin in the background. He's single, she's single, and she's like, you know what? Fuck my ex babe. I'm about to hop on Steve Martin's character, and we about to do
Oh,
some
okay.
grown up shit.
Okay, this I'm definitely about to check this out tonight
And it
because this
blows
is
up.
I want
This
to see this.
triangle, it's a triangle, girl, and it blows up, and then her children are in the movie, and her children, I just resonated with the characters that played her kids because they just reminded me of me, my older sister, my little sister, my little brother. They're all like spaced out the way that we're spaced out, and her oldest daughter reminded me of Shar and Obi, and like it showed how the mama shenanigans, Meryl Streep, how her shenanigans impacted them, which I kind of thought the kids overreacted a bit, but that movie just makes me feel good. I also love how like she owns her business. Like after her kids are all grown and stuff, she finally has time to tap into a new career, and she lives her dream of like owning a bakery and renovating her house, which is fly as hell. Like it just makes me want to move to California and live by a vineyard. So great scenery, great movie. That one and Hitch, and I Love You Man, which is another romantic comedy. This one has which I wish I had more black movies to list in this category, but
It's
I
okay.
don't care. I Love You Man has the dude that plays Ant-Man in it. What's his
Oh, the guy from
name?
Clueless.
Paul Rudd. Yes, the guy from Clueless. I love that you reference Clueless with him. But yes, I Love
Yeah.
You Man is a great movie, and I put that in this category because
Okay.
he spends the whole movie trying to find some groomsmen. He's getting married, and his wife has all the bridesmaids, right? And he's
Mhm.
looking around like, well, shoot, I don't have no fucking friends. Who's gonna be my groomsmen?
Mhm.
And he overhears his wife talking to her friends about like, well, we don't know who's gonna be the groomsman. He really just hangs out with me. And the movie just him trying to find some friends to be in his wedding. And Jason Segel is in that movie, which he's an awesome
Mhm.
actor as well. He has a show about therapy on Apple TV right now that's really good. And I just loved it because there was a period of my life where I felt like I ain't had that many friends either. And so I would watch that movie and feel like less alone that, okay, the
Mhm.
fact that they made this movie means someone out here is feeling the same way I feel sometimes. And I'm like, well, shoot, if I were to get married again, who would be my bridesmaids? Which I don't feel like
Yeah.
that now, but like there
Mhm.
was a period where I was like, focus so much on raising the kids that I ain't go out at all.
Yeah.
So that's one that makes me feel good because it shows you finding friends so late in your life. And
Yeah.
he got really close with Jason
Yeah.
Segel's character, and they had some ups and downs. So
That's
that's
real.
me. Hmm.
That's real because I mean, even with college, like there, you meet people in school and you think that y'all are gonna be friends forever, and it doesn't happen that way. And then, like, you transition through life, and I can say that, like, there was one point in my life where I was just kind of focused on trying to get into my career field that
Yeah,
I was just kind of like just by myself, I mean,
yeah,
just trying to be an independent woman, and you recognize how lonely that can be. And,
yeah,
our friendship has flourished. We
yeah.
were friends, as children, but our friendship has really flourished, later in
Absolutely.
life.
Later in
And
life. Later in life,
that
right.
that gives people hope.
It
That's
does.
great.
It does. I love,
That gives you
yeah.
hope.
I hope
Okay.
everyone feels like that. What
You
about
said
you,
all three?
girl? Yeah, that's three. Hitch. It's complicated, and I love you, man. With Paul
Okay.
Rudd. Yeah.
My feel good is Sister Act 2. Definitely. I just love like
Me
I was just I
too.
was just thinking about that the other day, and I was like, I
Yes.
gotta go back and watch that movie because I just really love how Whoopi Goldberg plays this black woman.
Mhm.
They need her to transition to choir, like they like she's superwoman, right?
Right.
She come in to the choir, the kids, the students, they just fucked up. Like they don't have no discipline, no respect, no interest in singing. They're just in there chilling, kicking it
Mhm.
with the crew and everything, jugging, cracking at each other, making fun of each other,
Mhm.
talking about they just chilling, they teenagers.
Right.
And, I really like how she approached the challenge or the situation because she wasn't like, I'm coming in here to tell y'all what to do. She observed, she sat back, they played a little prank on her and everything. She got glued to the seat. She observed one day, she was like,
Yeah.
okay. She tried to figure out what, she talked to administration. She tried to figure out what they exactly need. Administration was like not really fucking with her because they wanted to close the school. She
Yeah.
didn't want to give up on the kids,
Right.
so she came back, the next week and was like, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new day. And, they want to jug at her. She was jugging at them. She said, if you want to put that makeup on, you better do it before you come to my class. You know what I'm saying? Like she kind of
Yeah.
bossed up on them
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and she gained her respect. She earned their respect. And then they didn't want her to leave. They really felt like the type of mentor that they've been needing to feel, good because these were kids from the hood,
Right,
I mean,
right.
they kind of wrote it that way, but they seem like some privileged kids.
Yeah.
But they were, just they believed in her. They felt like she believed in them, so they believed in her. And it's just, they won a choir competition. It was just a really good feel good movie. And there's just
I
so many
agree.
like quotes in that movie that I just can repeat over and over and over. Like it's just real 90s. It's real
It
black.
is.
It's just
It
a
is.
good. That's the best movie ever. It's Sister Act 2.
Yes.
The other one, I'm not gonna. Well, I'll watch these, but I'm not gonna elaborate too much. As far as black rom-coms, two movies that I watch all the time. Deliver Us from Eva and Two Can Play That Game. Those are just like two of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I
I'm not gonna
agree.
elaborate too much on it, but
Yeah, I like those, and I like Brown Sugar too. That's another one that I used to watch a lot. Brown
yeah,
Sugar,
Brown
but
Sugar,
I
Brown Sugar.
do.
I like Love and Basketball more than I like Brown Sugar.
I like Love and Basketball, but I also like Brown Sugar. And I think it's just because I love the setting. They're in New York and
Yeah,
she and it just kind of shows how again like Tay Diggs and her were friends for so long and like
yeah.
I ain't gonna say it's my favorite movie. There's some things about that movie that I do have some criticism about, but I
Mhm.
do like that he ends up choosing her in the end of everything.
Over.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, to me, it was the same. Love and Hip. I mean, Love and Basketball and Brown
Mhm.
Sugar is the same movie. It's just a different
Yeah.
guy. It's
Just a
exactly the
different
same movie.
guy, different
Yeah,
city. And I like both of
different
those,
city.
yeah, sceneries. And The Wiz, if I wanted to take a movie from back in the day, that one is another feel good for me too.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
watched
at
that. I
home
just
when I
watched
watch
that
The
the other
Wiz.
day.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And A Little
I was
Princess. Little Princess.
uh,
I know that one's my favorite too.
I was gonna say it's the season, but Hocus Pocus is one of my favorite movies
Yes.
that makes me feel good. The
Hmm.
holiday movies. The Grinch
Yeah.
is another one. We watched The
We
Grinch when we
watched
was in
that.
Huntsville,
We
cracking up
did. It
laughing.
is so
And then
funny.
and then Home Alone is also one of
Mm.
my favorite feel good movies. Like I just have to I have to watch one and two. I cannot like go throughout the season, the
Yeah.
holiday season without watching those three movies for sure.
Yeah, those are good ones.
Four.
Those are good ones.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on because we've been talking for a long time, but we gonna get through these questions. Moving on. Okay. What movie is a guaranteed laugh and makes you feel good? We kind of talked about this, but any comedies
Yeah.
that you just really like?
Yeah, I won't elaborate on them, but I will list them out. Hangover
Okay.
is one. That's a
Mhm.
classic.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, that movie's so funny. Bridesmaids is another one, which those are
Mhm.
both like wedding themed movies and they're funny.
Yeah.
Um, Friday, which is a classic,
Mhm. That's on the
and
list too.
and Friday After Next for me. Like I like both of those with both Chris Tucker and Ice Cube, and I like the one with Ice Cube and Mike Epps. But I like
Mike Epps.
Friday
Yeah.
After Next. I Next Friday is
See,
good too, but
I
Friday
like
After
next.
Next has what?
That's my least favorite one. Friday After Next. I like Next Friday
Really?
better.
You like Next Friday?
Yes.
I like all three
Yeah.
of them, but Damon is in Friday After Next, and I think his character
Yeah.
between the two of them is hilarious. And the one him, and then the lady that plays his mama, and
Yeah.
he be like, you need to shape that up right there." He's like, "Fuck you, bitch! I know somebody like it."
I know. I
That movie
know.
is
I
so funny.
know. And that one was real
And
raunchy.
then they got Cat Williams playing the pimp in
Yeah.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
And be like, "Stand back, I'm working with a monster."
I know. I know. And Ricky
That's one.
Smiley's in the movie.
Yes, he's playing
It's
Santa
the
Claus.
Santa.
Yes.
Yeah. It is a lot of good cameos in that movie. It's just not my favorite one, but yeah.
There you go. But
Cause
it's
I like the second one because Pinky is my favorite character. I
oh
know he's in the
Lord.
third one too, but
Yes, that
Pinky,
yeah.
when they introduced Pinky, like, nigga, I ain't playing nigga. Like that just was my favorite. Like I don't know how many times I will rewind that part of him in the store.
I
The
like that one too because I like old girl with the puffs.
yeah,
And Mike Epps be talking
bad
about how
bitches
she
need
be
love too, Craig. Yeah.
and then he be talking about how she know when all the cakes come out. Like all the little
Yeah,
Debbie's.
we just was just getting to know Day Day, and Day Day was funny. Like Day Day to me, Chris Tucker. Yes, he was like we know somebody like Chris, but Day
Yeah.
Day, like I know somebody like Day Day for real in the hood, like for
Mhm.
real. Like Day Day was
Mhm.
hilarious. So
Yeah.
he was just talking about some. I got the 20s on here. I got the 20s on
Them
my
ain't
Beamer.
20s. Them ain't 20s.
They tens, but I keep them clean
I keep
though.
them clean.
He was faking it like it was some real hood rich shit. So
Oh god.
that Friday the trilogy
Fridays the
that is
trilogies. Let's
good.
just say the trilogies. Yes.
All of them, yeah.
And
Okay.
Coming to America. That's my last one. That's
Ah,
another
I
one.
can't believe I didn't even put that on my list.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes, I love
Classic.
coming to America.
Classic.
Um, I was gonna say, okay, my top three. I'm not gonna elaborate, but
Okay.
Friday was one of them. But
Mhm.
my cousin Vinny, have you ever seen that?
Not all the way through, but I know what you're talking
Okay,
about. Yeah.
like my family, we grew up on that movie. Like
It has
we
Danny
went to
DeVito in it.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
We went. He is that his name? That's not him. No, it's not him. It's
That's not Danny
Josie. It's
DeVito? Joe
no, it's
Pesci. Joe
Joe
Pesci.
Pesci.
I
Yes,
get
that's
them
who it
mixed
is.
up.
Because they're
He's
both
a goat.
short. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in
And I
Casino
just
too. He's
love
a goat.
Joe Pesci because of Home Alone. And
Mm-hmm.
so my cousin Benny, my parents, like, we was in Alabama for Carter swim meet one time in Alabama, and we was all cracking up about the movie because we was talking about we went to City Cafe
Mm-hmm.
in Huntsville, and we was talking about the grits. And I was like, "Mommy, you remember cousin Vinny the grits? They was like that one scene when they say Alabama take pride in their grits or whatever. Like it's you just gotta watch the movie. It's just a funny episode. I mean, it's a funny part of the movie. And then
Mm-hmm.
Rush Hour. Rush Hour is a
Yes.
real good feel good movie for me
Oh,
because I
shout
just
out to
really
Chris
love
Tucker.
that
Yeah.
duo.
Yeah, that's a
That is
great
my
chemistry.
favorite. Chris Tucker, that was like his first action packed movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just we seen him grow from Friday to Rush Hour and he was still himself in that movie and he just has so many phrases that he said that just
Yeah.
is he just got so many one
He be like,
liners
"Don't
that
talk
is
about my daddy. Don't talk
hilarious.
about my daddy."
Yeah. I love Rush Hour. Love
I
Rush
love
Hour.
that. I love that. It makes me think of Money Talks with him too. Him
Yes,
and Charlie
that one's
Sheen is
too.
another one.
Yeah.
He has great
Yeah.
chemistry with his people. Those are good.
Yeah. Okay. What movie motivated you?
Okay. This I got a couple of repeats. We talked about Hidden Figures. That was a motivator. Last Holiday was a motivator, but one I
Hmm.
haven't mentioned is The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, which is another
That's
Will
on
Smith
my list
movie.
too.
That's
That's
on
on
your
my
list
list too.
too?
Yes, I love that movie.
That movie makes me
That's one of that's a
cry.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say. That's a movie that I have to know what I'm getting into. Because every time I watch it, I cry. Every time. That bathroom scene is horrible. And it's just, oh, it's so good. It's so good. Like the movie, I'm saying the movie is so good that it just draws so much emotion out of me. But that bathroom scene makes me cry every time. And then
But
the end when he achieves his goal and everything, I cry all the time.
I
All
feel
the
him.
time.
I
All the
feel
time.
him. Like
Yeah.
I feel his gratitude on himself. Like it ain't even him feeling good about that opportunity they gave him. He feel good about him and how he
Yeah.
earned that. Like how he
Yeah.
earned that. The way he was carrying his luggage everywhere and he went to the
Yeah.
game and they was like, "You don't want to leave that in your car?" He's like, "Nah, what do he say? I'm going to the airport right after this or something." Like
Yeah.
he just was
Yeah.
like hiding so much but working so
Yeah.
hard, carrying such a
Yeah.
burden, but working so hard, doing the work, just
Yeah.
doing the work, and had his son with him the entire time. And it was just a
Yeah.
that movie's just real. Like it showed
Yeah.
like, look,
Challenges.
I got literally $12 in the bank and I got to
Mhm.
get through the next 2 weeks and I need to sell this machine so I can get some breath of air. And he stole
Mhm.
his machine and he's like, "Yes, we can get a hotel room. We
Yeah,
can
we got
breathe
somewhere
for
to
the next couple
live.
days."
Yeah.
Jaden Smith
Yeah.
acted his ass off in that movie. He was,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
movie really touches me, especially like as a parent, and it's just like you do whatever it takes to
Mhm.
make sure they're good. And he was like humbling. It was a very humbling movie. They was like, "We're gonna go to the shelter and make it work, but I'm not getting separated from my son. That's what I'm not gonna do." So
Yeah.
yeah, that one definitely was a motivating of a movie because it just shows that you can be at the bottom, but people are at the bottom and if they do the work, you don't always have to ask for handouts. Like
Yeah.
you can earn your way back to the top. So,
He was going
yeah.
through because even
Yeah,
like that scene where he needed like $5. Was it $5? And he was banging on his neighbor or whoever he gave the money to, or $10. I don't know how much it
I
was, but
know.
just he was so frustrated. He was like, "I need that money. I need
Yeah.
my $10 back."
Because the IRS, and then the way the IRS came and fucked them up like that, that's
Yeah,
real. Like, I've had unexpected bank drafts and you don't plan for it. And it's just like,
yeah,
fuck, what
yeah,
can I do? And then he was like, oh, who owe me money?
yeah.
Where can I recoup from? And it's just, it reminds you of the importance of the resources, like those homeless shelters. Like we look at
Mhm.
homeless people a certain kind of way sometimes, but there really be homeless people on some legit circumstances that are beyond their control sometimes.
Yeah,
Like he really did not anticipate putting him and his son in that position. Life just happened. And
yeah,
the shelters really came through for him when he needed it because that bathroom scene was that ain't it, you know? So
yeah,
resources like that help people avoid them kind of situations. But at the same time, it also shows how he wasn't totally dependent upon that. Like he wasn't about to use that as his, way of life. He
yeah.
was like, how can I do what you do? I see you got this fly ass car. How can I get there? He told him what
Mhm.
to do and he's doing those steps. And so that
Yeah.
kind of
See,
motivates me to find out like the goal. First, figure out the goal and then
yeah,
ask them, how do I get there? And then do that
yeah.
shit. So,
Okay, I'm just
yeah,
gonna say this. Remember, we had our mentor episodes. That's the questions that I be talking about. You see who you admire. Just
ask
ask
them
them
how to
what are
get
they
there.
doing.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing? And I took
Yeah.
like this is off topic, but yesterday at that hip hop summit, like I was talking what can I do? You know what I'm saying? I got y'all for 5 seconds. How can I build my brand? How can we build
Mm-hmm.
Teen Champagne Podcast? You know what I'm saying? We podcasters, like what can we do? Like you have when you have opportunities like that, you never know who can just tell you something so simple to get you to the next level. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right. Those be
Teen
the right
Champagne,
places at the right time
Teen
with the right
Champagne gonna be
people.
all right. Yeah, and the fact that we had that space just to listen. I mean, I know they was gearing towards music and artists, but whatever they saying, I took it with a grain of, of respect and like
Yeah,
figuring out how that can, how we can apply that daily. You know, how I
for
can
sure.
apply those things daily. So, but anyways, yes, Pursuit of Happiness is one of my good motivational movies. I
Mm-hmm.
remember seeing it with my sister, and when she got her job like as a assistant manager at JC Penney's in Dallas, Texas. She was only 23, and I was like, "Are you at your pursuit of happiness?" And we just laughed at that because I was just like, "God, we like look at what you do. You from Chad,
Yeah,
we from Menlo. Like this is we come from humble beginnings, and
yeah,
you in Dallas, Texas. Like I was just so inspired by that. But I
yeah.
love that movie. I really do. Um. Oh, did you have some more?
That was it.
Okay, because I'm gonna
Yeah.
piggyback off of Will Smith and say King Richard is the other
Oh,
one
that's
that
a good
motivated
one.
me.
Yeah.
Will be playing his ass off. And I like when he plays those characters versus I Am Robot. I don't like those. Hitch, Hitch is good and Hancock is okay, but
Yeah,
I really like when he played like these type of roles. King
yeah,
Richard was phenomenal.
it
That's another
was.
movie I cried off of. But it's
Yeah,
just
and he won
like
an Oscar for that
humble
movie. The
beginnings.
world, yeah, the
He
world saw
did win an
him and
Oscar.
gave him the award. And I'm gonna focus on that. Like I
Okay.
hate that we can't focus on that. Like,
I know.
cause
You're right.
that's
You're right. I
big.
forgot all about that. He got an award for that
He got
because
an Oscar
the
for that, and he
clapping
deserved
overpowered
it.
it.
It did, but he deserved that Oscar for that movie because
Hmm.
he. You couldn't tell me that wasn't their dad. You couldn't tell me. I didn't see Will
Yeah,
Smith. I saw Richard.
I didn't. I did too. I did too. And it's just a
Yeah.
real good. To me, it's like it's just to. I think that's the masculine energy that I like. Like, the humble beginnings, like to figure it out, to not blame your excuses on things when situations happen in your life. There's always a way out. There's always a way to progress. Like you can't feel victim in these situations all the time. And
Mhm.
I really like how, that movie, King Richard, he had all those kids. They was from the hood, but he found something that his children was good at and
Yeah.
he crafted it, kept shaping it, kept perfecting the product,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
got them to where they need to be, and then the
Yeah.
story is
And
history,
yeah, and he was like, it looked like we hard on these kids, and it's because we are. It's because we
Yeah,
are hard on these kids, because we don't want them out in these streets. So
yeah. And
yeah,
I mean, we can say that about the American Dream too, the Jackson 5 movie, you
we
know.
could.
But Joe Jackson was different.
He was different.
But yeah, okay. The last question, the last question. I left this blank because I don't really know, but I
Okay,
feel like, well, anyways, I'm just gonna say it. What movie made a positive impact on your well-being and mental health? I'm just gonna say all the movies that I've listed makes a impact on my mental health and well-being. So,
that's good. Yeah, I agree. I have a lot here as well, just because I'll start at Silver Linings Playbook because that one is a movie that actually
I
focuses
never seen it.
on. Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's another Oscar nominated movie. It has Bradley Cooper in it. It has Chris Tucker in it. Actually, he has a role.
Mm.
Robert De Niro is in it.
Mhm.
My girl,
Julia Stiles
no, the other girl, she played in Hunger Games, and she
and
is,
Jennifer
oh,
Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah.
Mhm.
They're the leads, and it's based on a mental health condition that Bradley Cooper has and Jennifer Lawrence's character. They both have conditions that they're
Mhm.
battling. And if you just want to watch a movie to understand him going through his bipolar and how it affected his relationship, how it affects his
Okay.
relationship with his parents, him getting into another relationship and working through therapy, and Chris Tucker, his role isn't really big in it, but he kind of brings some comedic relief into it. And he too has a condition. They were in the mental health together, and he
Hmm.
escaped. He breaks out. I don't know, girl. It's funny, but it's also like real. And they tap into meds, and just him working on himself. And that one just was a good movie to watch because it just helped me understand people and their conditions and the humanity behind people that have those conditions. Because you a lot of people do, and they just are living
Yeah.
like functionally, until people
Mhm.
blow up. And so that's why you got to understand and give people grace when people blow up like that, because some people, they have strong personalities, they be doing the most. We
Mhm.
don't want to say that mental health is an excuse for people to be off some bullshit. But at the same time, I give a lot of people grace to be on some bullshit because they might have a
Yeah.
condition that you don't even
Yeah.
recognize because it's just it might be undiagnosed. But that's a good one. Well produced. Eat, Pray, Love. I mentioned that earlier, but that's another one that was just good for mental health for me because it just showed her escaping reality. Um, to get back to what made her feel good and to escape the United States to get that way. And it
Mhm.
just gives me a goal to work towards to be able to travel like that because getting out of
Mhm.
this country is definitely it's
A
a positive
goal.
impact on people's mental
Yeah.
health that I think. And the
Mhm.
movie really shows that well. I've mentioned Frozen before because I just identify with Elsa
Let
so
it
much.
go.
Yes,
Mhm.
I love that movie. I like Harry Potter movies. I feel like watching those movies are another way to escape from reality for me,
Mhm.
just getting into a different dimension of reality through magic. And I, like you mentioned, Hocus Pocus. I love Hocus Pocus, and I love Harry Potter. I like hell, I even like the Twilight series. I like these fictional storylines that
Mhm.
aren't really plausible, but they still enjoyable, and I really loved reading those books. Moana gave me peace. Um, Inside
Mhm.
Out gave me peace. Have you ever heard of Inside Out? It's another Disney movie, but that's
I
a
don't
really
think
good
so.
one because it's about characters in your head. But because
Mhm.
it's a Disney movie, they designed it from a child's perspective, but adults can relate to it too. Like they have a character that plays anger, they have a character that plays sadness, a
Oh
character
yeah, I
that
did see
plays,
that. Me and Carter did watch that. Yes.
yeah, that's a really
That's the
good
one
one.
about the family moving to
Mhm.
another city.
Mhm.
I did watch
Mhm.
that. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Turning Red is another
That was
one.
deep.
It was deep, right? And
Yeah.
I like Turning Red, like, cause that one I just
Mhm.
identified with, cause she's living in the era of like the early 2000s, and her obsession with
Yeah.
this boy band just
I
reminded me of how I
know.
was with NSYNC.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God. And her
know.
relationship with her mom and, the turbulence they were
Yeah.
going through. That one's
Mhm.
a really good one because it just showed them navigating that. And
Mhm.
there's a movie called The Holiday that's really good that gives me peace. Came about like vacation homes with this woman that lives in London. So the woman that lives
Mhm.
in London, which is Kate Winslet, she leaves London to go live in California in Cameron Diaz's house, and Cameron leaves the States and go lives in London, and they find love in different countries, and they just
Hmm.
needed to leave their life of stress. Like Kate
Mhm.
Winslet's character, she was so stressed about this dude that she wanted to be with, and he was a fuck boy, and she just needed to escape that reality,
Mhm.
going to California, finding love with Jack Black, and it's just really cool. It's another movie that just um reminds me of sometimes you just got to change your surroundings to
Yeah.
better yourself. And
Mhm.
like you said, all the other movies we discussed, those have positive impacts, on my well-being. And you mentioned Jackson 5. I mean, that one just brings me back to my childhood. Crooklyn brings me back to my
Mhm.
childhood.
Mhm.
Soul Food, like those movies that
Mhm.
I can just revisit as something I used to watch as a child, brings me back to like feeling safe and not having any
Mhm.
responsibilities. So that always makes me feel good and makes me feel like, okay, I'm tapping back into a piece of me that I forgot about. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Good Burger is another one that kind of taps
Oh,
into my childhood. I just
yeah.
love that movie. That's another feel good
Mhm.
movie. I just love Kenan and
Mhm.
Kel. I have Carter watching it. He love it because he loves Kenan and Kel because I introduced him to that show. So
Yeah.
I just those yeah. And I really like that I can introduce him to not all movies, but some movies to him, and he's like, "Okay, TT, that was funny," because he does not like a lot of movies. Like he still doesn't think the original Space Jam is good. I'm like, what's
Oh,
wrong with you,
girl,
bro?
that's
That's a
another one.
classic.
That's a
Michael Jordan.
classic.
Michael
Hello?
Jordan. Speaking of okay, have you seen the new House Party?
No. What? They
Okay.
rebooted House Party?
Yeah, and who was in it? Jacob Lattimore.
I am unaware. Wow.
And it's a big celebrity cast. So like they have
Really?
I mean they have a lot of they have a lot of cameo features. I'm sorry, it's not a
Mm-hmm.
big celebrity, but their theme is they're throwing this house party at LeBron James's house.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking
And
about.
like they're inviting all his friends to come to the party. So like there's a lot of celebrities there,
Yeah.
like Lil Wayne, Big Sean. It's a
Yeah.
lot of people, and DC Young Fly is in it,
I
and
know what you're talking
they have
about. Yeah.
a dark skinned woman as like the character lead, and it was I mean nothing takes the cake of the original House Party, but it
Yeah.
is a okay rendition. I give them a 7. I give them a
Yeah.
7. I
Because
give
I
them a
like
7
Jacob
because I feel
Lattimore.
like,
Yeah.
well, considering that we're in social media age and then like this VIP luxury lifestyle age, I think they incorporated that very well. So it's on Tubi for free.
There we go. Shout out to Tubi.
Okay. Well, I think we covered everything, all our questions. I knew there was no way we was gonna get through this in 30 minutes, but that's why I was like, let's record this another day. Like we had things to do
Ah,
yesterday,
I mean, there's
but
just so many. There's so many. I could go on and on.
yes. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. D, you want to tell us about your intentions for the week?
Yes. My intention is to be optimistic in my career front. I have lunch meeting this week that I really hope has a great outcome as far as what comes next for me. And, no matter what happens, I'm just going to be optimistic on however work because that's always a focus because I'm always trying to advance myself to bigger and better things. So I'm going to be optimistic. And like you said, become interactive with people who are at the position that I perhaps aspire to be, asking the right questions and getting feedback and having those conversations. So
Hmm.
that's definitely an intention that I'll be exercising this week for sure.
Okay. My intentions, I'm going to execute a lot of the things that I got from the Hip Hop Summit and work on building us the brand Tea and Champagne podcast. And let's see what else this week. I don't know. I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
let this
that's
week
big.
ease
Yeah.
into me. Ease, it just kind of take this week with ease because
Hmm.
we're transitioning to a new season. It's the last quarter of the year, so I'm just kind of just gonna take this week with ease. Be intentional about taking this week with ease.
I like that. I like that. Well, thank you, sippers, for tuning in.
Well,
I hope you guys had a good time and that,
yes.
you know, if you aren't caught up on all the episodes, get caught up and tune in for our next one.
Yes, and if you want to be a guest, don't forget to email us at Tea and Champagne Podcast, and also follow us on Spotify, Apple. Our Instagram is Tea and Champagne Pod, and share us. Word of mouth is the plug. So
Yes, it
tell
is.
everybody that you like Tea and Champagne Podcast because we like y'all.
Yes. Yes. Spread the word. Keep us on the scene and on everybody's radar. And thank
Yeah,
you for your support.
thank
Bye.
y'all. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.